What's going on, guys? Top Tier Gaming here, and today I'm coming at you with a Symphogear deck profile. So Symphogear is a really cool set. There's a bunch of different ways it can be played. This is a very Tsubasa focused list, and it's Tsubasa Kanade. Tsubasa can be played with Kanade or Shirabe. There's a couple builds with either one. There's also a very Shirabe focused build where you twin drive for standbys and stuff. Symphogear can be played in a bunch of different ways, but this list is very hard focusing on Tsubasa, and the list is sort of molded to the very first card you see in the deck. And yeah, as I go through the list, you'll see that there's some interesting choices, especially around the level 1 area, where it's kind of weird, but it all works pretty good. And I'll just explain my choices, sort of how the deck works, and yeah, let's get into it. So starting off, we have 4 of this Tsubasa right here. So she is an on-play Rize, which means when she comes into play, you can reveal up to the top 3 cards of your deck. You can select one Tsubasa or Kanade character, add it to your hand, send the rest to waiting room, and then you can discard a card. So it's sort of like deck fixing, similar to an Akatsuki type effect, except the discard happens after. It can just fix deck states. It's really good for just hand fixing in general, and a very, very powerful card. This is sort of the card that molds the rest of the deck. You see less Shirabe in this build because it obviously only adds Tsubasa and Kanade cards, and we want to be very sure that when we activate this Rize, we're using her effect to some utility. And that's why we've optimized the list to sort of ensure there are very few cards that make this card miss. And yeah, this card shaped the way the deck is played, and the reason it's very purely Tsubasa is this card. For the most part. So yeah, 4 of this Rize. And next up is 4 of this Chris. This is a mill runner. On attack, it gives 500 power to a certain character of your choice. Very powerful mill runner, so we're definitely going to maximize and play 4 of this. Also, it's red count, so yeah. So next up, we have 3 of the Amagi Tsubasa. So this card is very powerful because it's an Amagi effect. So when you play Climax, you can pay 1, look up the top 4 cards of your deck, select a music character, add it to your hand. Very, very powerful effect. And also during your opponent's turn, it gives your front stage center character plus 1k. So you can do some walling there, that's pretty good. Mostly it's the Amagi effect we are playing this for. And overall you can see that the level 0, as of right now, looks very powerful. We have an on-play Rize, we have a mill runner, and we have an Amagi. That's just 3 very powerful cards. And yeah, that's why we're choosing to play 3 of this, because Amagi type effects are just very powerful. Next up, we have 3 of this Tsubasa Brainstormer. So it's a tap self-search Brainstormer, just very, very powerful, having a tap self-Brainstormer, so we take those. And then at the start of your Climax phase, you can actually look at the top card of your deck, and then put it back where it was. This is actually really good for a couple of effects in your deck. You can just gain some knowledge and some effects in your level 1 game. It can kind of help to see which one you want to attack with first. It is a nice effect, just being able to check the top card. Mostly we are using this as our tap self Brainstormer of choice. There's other Brainstormers you can play, like the Hibiki, I think her name is, that Brainstormer, which is also like an anti-salvage. I think that's good, but I wanted to play the tap self Brainstormer. So yeah, just 3 of this Tsubasa. So next up, we have 2 of this drop search Tsubasa. So it's a drop search, which are very good effects. However, it only searches Tsubasas and Shirabes. You only run 1 Shirabe in the entire deck. So that's the most interesting part maybe about this entire list, so I'll be sure to explain that more in depth when I get there. But other than being a drop search for cards, you can discard a music character on play to salvage 2 very specific cards, that 1 Shirabe or your level 3 Tsubasa. And that's very important because it means this card can sort of up the consistency of this list by a lot, because those cards are really important and they work with each other. So yeah, I mean, you're only going to be using the effect of the level 3 if you take a look at this whole list, but you need that level 1. So that's why we're playing 2 of this. It's a very, very important card to make sure we have the specific cards we need, especially that 1 of. So next up, we have 2 of this Kanade. So this is a clock bond for your level 1 climax combo, which is super good. It's just a free +1, so it's like our Ricky effect. So if you take a look at the entire level 0, you'll see a clock bond or +1 effect. So our Ricky effect, a drop search, a mill runner, an Amagi, and a Rize. Very powerful utility-based level 0, so I really, really like that. Also, this Kanade, she gives +500 and a level to your level 1 climax combo, which is very important because that level's super helpful in some situations, and it just kind of like beefs her up. It is an on reverse combo, so that's pretty good. And yeah, that's going to wrap up the level 0s onto level 1s. So next up, starting off with level 1s, we have 4 of our Tsubasa Climax combo. So this is the main level 1 advantage gaining engine of the deck. It has a clock bond for it, which is really good. It's 5/5 base, and it combos with the first pants in the deck because we are running 8 pants, which I really enjoy because it means you can get your climaxes very easily. Pants is great. So yeah, pretty much when it reverses its battle opponent, you do an Amelia effect. You reveal up to the top 4 cards of your deck, and you add either a Tsubasa or a Kanade from those cards to your hand, send the rest to waiting room, and then you can actually select one of your characters and give it plus 2k power. That's really good for on reverse combos. So like say they had like one smaller character and 2 huge walls, you can sort of use your first climax combo to give powers to the others to make them easier to reverse the opponent's characters. So the 2k power is really cool. The biggest downside of this card is that it actually is level 0 on field. That's its demerit for being a climax combo with vanilla power. That is kind of bad. It means level 0 bombs can reverse it, and that can suck, but it's not like the biggest deal in the world if you get your, you +1 off of it. Like, if they want to bomb it, they can. If you have your clock bond in play, then they actually can't level 0 bomb it, which is cool. But it is kind of weak to level 0 bombs in that sense. But again, it's not like the biggest deal in the world. You're not super trying to wall with this thing. If they do have the level 0 bomb, again, it's whatever. But it also kind of sucks because you're running a level assist at level 1 and you don't gain any power off of it. But again, this is honestly, I think, the best Tsubasa Climax combo in the set. So I'm going to play 4 of it, and it has a clock bond, it works with pants, it has a lot of things going for it. So next up we have 3 of this Tsubasa. So it gains 500 for every other, making it 6k base on a full field, which is pretty good. And then on attack, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck, send one to waiting room, and put the other one back on top of your deck. It sort of helps you set up your triggers, which is really nice. Trigger a pants if you want to, or send it to waiting room if you really don't. It just adjusts triggers, which is really good with your level assist once I get to talking about that. But yeah, this is just a really good level 1 for being 6k base. You can wall with it. So yeah, 3 of this Tsubasa. Next up, very easy, 3 of this Tsubasa and Kanade backup. It's a 2k backup. It's got both of their names in the card, which really is kind of irrelevant because you only need one of their names. But yeah, 3 2k backup, help reverse deny, just great card. So next up is actually the level assist, this Tsubasa level assist. So level assist in front, pretty good effect. It's not like the most amazing thing, but it is a nice effect to have, especially with an on-reverse combo if we do manage to make it level 1. The really cool thing about this is if you trigger a soul icon when you attack, you can actually give one of your Tsubasa or Shirabe characters plus 2k, which is a super huge power boost. And again, you have the Tsubasa we talked about earlier that can sort of set up your triggers. So yeah, I really do like the 2k power boost. It helps you get over certain things. We don't have, our level 3s actually don't hit at high power, so this card is super helpful in making sure we can reverse things when we need to. Because this deck can have such a bad Bunny Girl Senpai matchup, it looks really bad on paper. But we do run this, and it sort of helps with this problem. Of course, it won't give to any of our Kanades, which is sort of unfortunate, but Tsubasa wants to work with so many characters over these Symphogear sets. It's made it really weird, but also really good when deck building. There's a lot of things you can do with Symphogear, but yeah, 2 of this level assist. And then lastly, the most undeniably weird looking card in the deck is this one Shirabe. So this card is actually not playable at all. I mean, you technically can if you do have the one other green in the deck in your clock or level zone, but it's not meant to be a playable character. It's a one of because if we draw the one of it, it's okay in our hand as a one of. You have so many discard outlets, you can clock it, but mostly you just need this card for your level 3. And it may seem inconsistent as a one of, but if we don't have it, it's sort of unfortunate, but again, not the biggest deal. And we do run that drop searcher to get this card either from waiting room or from deck. That drop searcher is super useful in getting this card, obviously being able to salvage it from either place. The only time you're gonna miss this is if it's in stock and you can't pay it out, or it's in your clock. But other than that, you kind of want to hold this at level 2 to work with your level 3's anti-damage effect. And that's the only thing this card is used for. It's a Shirabe, so obviously I don't want to run too many of it because it makes our Rize miss. It makes our climax combo miss. So it's really good on our level 3, so we do run the one of, and that's the reason I'm deciding to play it. Even though it looks kind of awkward, it really shouldn't hinder the deck at all in any way, shape, or form. So yep, that concludes the level 1s. So starting with level 2s, we have 2 of this Kanade. So it's an anti-early play, which is really, really useful. And then sometimes she's also a 2-0. So being a 2-0 that can anti-early play is really good because we don't have any of our own early plays. I decided not to run the Tsubasa event that some very Tsubasa-based builds play. Again, it makes a lot of our cards miss, which I don't like. And I just don't think the event is like powerful enough, in my opinion, to run. So this is our way to deal with early plays because we don't have any of our own on with level 2. We actually have this one other green card in the deck. Technically, it allows that 1-0 Shidobe to be playable, but that probably shouldn't happen. It's really just a 2-5 anti-change backup. These effects are very good, and I want to at least be running one to scare my opponent and let them know I'm running one. So yeah, that concludes the level 2. So starting off with the level 3s, we only run 8 and only 2 different cards because these I feel are the strongest Tsubasa level 3s that we can be playing. So starting off with this one, it's the climax combo with the other pants in our deck. Its climax combo is when the climax combo is in play, when you attack, you can look at the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, choose up to 2 of them, send them to waiting room, and put the rest back on top, and then you can apply the same effect for yourself. And so it's pretty much super good anti-damage. It's essentially the same effect that the green level 3 Bang Dream has. Really powerful climax combo against very heavily compression-based strategies. You know, they're always going to cancel like on the 3rd card when you're using this, but besides that, super powerful climax combo. And then when it's front attacked, you can pay 2, and you can reveal the level 1 Shidobe in your hand to give your Tsubasa the effect that the character in front of it gets -2 soul, and your Tsubasa gets +2k power. So she becomes a sort of wall with this effect and anti-damage. So you deal this sort of anti-compression strategy and like to offensively game end, and then you have anti-damage yourself. So that's pretty good, pretty powerful. I really like this level 3 a lot. So next up is 4 of this Tsubasa. So it's our healer for the deck. When she comes into play from hand, you get to heal 1, which is very, very good. If you have 2 or more other music characters, she gains 1500, so makes her a little bigger. And you can send her battle opponent to memory if you want when she reverses a character, which you can use sometimes. And then when she reverses her battle opponent, you can pay 1, discard 1 to burn 1. So she's just a secondary like game ender type effect. We are pushing for damage here with this level 3, and it's a very anti-compression sort of game ender. We're pinging for 1, and we're making sure we discard climaxes off the top. But yeah, as you can see, this level 3 doesn't hit a super high power, so that's why we're running the level assist for the most part. Is we have such a bad like bodyguard standby matchup with how weak our deck can be. But that level assist honestly makes our stuff so big sometimes, so it's pretty good. And that's why I feel like I had to play that card. But yeah, this is the level 3 lineup, and then for climax lineup, we obviously have 8 pants, which I love. I play Rize, and it's 8 book, and every single day I play that deck, I wish it was 8 pants, but alas. So we do have 8 pants in here, and that's really good. So yeah, that was the Symphogear deck profile, very Tsubasa Kanade focused. There are so many ways to play this deck. I have a build where you just sort of use the Shidobe with more red, and you just try to twin drive into standbys, and I think that's a really cool list as well. I may profile that deck if you guys want to see it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the deck. It is very Tsubasa focused Symphogear deck. But yeah, this was Top Tier Gaming. Hope you enjoyed. Bye YouTube.